Right. It is with great pleasure that I introduce our Project Talk speaker for today, Dr. Kasyapa Chitta. He's a professor of biotechnology and biomedical sciences at Florida State College at Jacksonville and the PI of the ATE grant, excuse me, Advancing Next Generation Biotechnician Preparedness in Northeast Florida. The title of his presentation is Advancing Biotechnician Workforce Readiness in Northeast Florida, a regional initiative. Welcome, Dr. Cheetah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for a great introduction. And I didn't know that I'm graciously accepting that asking questions in the middle, but I I prefer people asking questions.
I'm sorry, Dr. Cheetah. I misunderstood then.
No, that's fine. No, I like it. In fact, that's what I'm saying. I like
Okay.
people whenever you have a
Oh,
question,
okay.
just shoot it, send it, and I will answer the questions. That's what I say. I love that. Rather than waiting until the end, we answer the questions whenever you have that. Okay. With
That's
no further delay, I will start my presentation. Okay. Are you able to see the slides?
looks great. Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
wonderful. Okay. Good morning, everybody. For some of you, good afternoon. This is I'm Kasyapa Chitta. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, as Dion mentioned just now. I'm a professor at Florida State College, Jacksonville. And as you all know, the reason I'm presenting it here is because the National Science Foundation recently recognized our request or our proposal, and 2024 July they gave us an award. Award number is here. Award on uh, improving the biotechnology awareness around Northeast Florida, as well as enhancing or increasing the enrollments and the biotechnology program. So that we have finished one year, almost 1 year of it. So I want to talk to you about what exactly is the grant, what is the need for this particular grant, and where we stand. Everything I organized, I will show you. The title of that particular thing is Advancing Biotechnician Workforce Readiness in Northeast Florida. So Northeast Florida covers a couple of counties here, where the college is well established and is serving the community. So this is a very good opportunity for us to uh, work in this area, we thought. So I started that, and without you, this is how I'm going to present it. I will talk about the college because most of you know Florida, Jacksonville, but FSCJ is the largest college. So I want to talk about that first. Then I want to talk about the biotechnology program, how it is established and how it's going, everything, and what are the courses that we do. Then I talk about the NSF grant that we received and an overview on that and the specific aims of that and how we are implementing and what are the partnerships that we are achieving. Then we will look at the impact of this on the workforce development and future plans and request for collaborations. This is the sequence that I planned. So let's go ahead and do the FSCJ. FSCJ is one of the largest colleges in Florida, and it has been serving the community for the last 60 years. In fact, we are celebrating the 60th year of FSCJ this year, and it is as of spring 2025, there are 44,000 students enrolled into the program. And recently we finished a commencement on May 7th, and more than 9,000 students graduated. So it's a very big college, and we have 190 programs and associates bachelor's, certificate programs, everything. We can say this is as a hub of workforce development for Northeast Florida region. And it is we give, and ultimately we are serving both the student community who are interested in getting into the field, and also the um, industry that is around, which is looking for a talented workforce. So that way we are bridging the gap between these two for the last 60 years. And the most important thing here I want to mention is it's said to be, and it's recognized as the military friendly institution. We have that gold rank, and we have the purple college status. So it is a very important point to say that we serve the military community also. And we have around 800 faculty members, and we have multiple campuses campuses, centers together, around 10 places we have. It's a huge college. And the point here is that it is bridging the gap between the uh, educators and the employers. So we are working towards that. So is the biotechnology program. Biotechnology program was initially intended to recognize remember 2003, around 2003, this biotechnology program started. Around 2003, we have a major things that happened in the biotechnology field, the Human Genome Project, and all the things that were happening. That time, the college recognized that we need to have a biotechnology program to serve the community here. And we started that. And as of today, we are giving AS in biotechnology, laboratory technology, and also technology certificates in biotechnology laboratory specialist programs. These ones we are giving it to students, and we also encourage students to take the base certifications so that they will be ready for the workforce. And we have internship opportunities. The program is built with internship opportunities. So that at the end of the program, each student has to take an internship or externship. One of them, I will explain both of them in a few further. And they have, and another important thing is it's a flexible pathways for continued education. That means they can complete this and go into a BS program for biomedical sciences, or they can take a break, go on to the workforce and come back and finish it. So all these flexibilities are intended for to support the first timers as well as the people who want to change the careers, and professionals who are working in the field and they want to come back and enhance their uh, technical expertise. So by all means, this particular program is initiated and we are continuing it to support the community and also the industry around it. Okay, what exactly the biotechnology teaches? We have the core program. There are most of the colleges also have the same distribution of the programs. And this is the program that we have, and we have the courses. So these are the course numbers and titles, and I will not read out all of these things. But what I want to say is, if a student comes into the biotechnology program, we treat him or her as a baby. So we start with the 1421, where we teach them how to hold a pipette, starting from how to hold a pipette. I think Diane is here, my colleague. Dan is like the patient expert. She teaches the students with how to hold a pipette, how to make solutions, how to weigh, volume, everything, simple things. They get all the knowledge, and by the end of the 1421, they are familiarized with the equipment and the techniques that they are going to learn. That's the very introduction to biotechnology program. And then they get into the other core courses like 2420, where they uh, learn how to extract RNA, how to extract DNA and manipulation of RNAs and DNA. There itself, they try to learn some of the microbial cell cultures and some of the chromatographic techniques, gas chromatography, gel filtration, and all the basic things. And DNA, RNA work, they do a lot. 2020. By 2027, once they come into the 2027, which is methods two, they continue learning this DNA technology, and then they start learning about the proteins. Proteins, how to extract proteins, run the protein gel electrophoresis, immunoprecipitations, and Western blots, all these basic techniques with proteins, as well as some of these uh, techniques with RNA, DNA. They learn cDNA preparation, and then try to start working on the PCR, PCR, and everything. By 2419, which is a cell culture, protein biotechnology and cell culture, there they spend majority of their time on cell culture, animal cell culture, and to some extent plant cell culture and microbial cell culture. All these things they work in that particular semester and learn on how to culture the cells, how to isolate them, count them, and for drug treatments, how they distribute serial dilutions of the cell cultures and growing them. And all the basics of the animal cell cultures, we teach them. That what is the focus, we give a lot in that particular semester. Apart from that, they learn the PCR and gel electrophoresis, Western blot, immunoprecipitation techniques in that particular lesson. So as you see all these things, they start with a very basic pipetting, and by the end of the four courses, they are experts in all this. And they're well aware of, I should say, they're well aware of all the technology that is used in a basic molecular biology lab or a industry. So that's how we prepare them. During this process, there is one I did not mention, BSc 2435 bioinformatics. Here, they are introduced to the bioinformatic tools, different databases, BLAST, and all the things, so that as comprehensively, I see them as beginners of biotechnology workforce. They can perform everything with a limited help, and they are ready to get into the workforce. That is the plan, and that is how the program is set. And these are some of the examples of the lab equipment that we have. We have a flow cytometer, we have the uh, biosafety hood and incubator, and we have other things like, for example, the microscope that we have, EVOS, which is imaging system, and we do the plant biotechnology also. Plant biotechnology is a kind of an externship we run, where students start from the callus and develop a callus, and then germination and grow the plants. This is, look at this picture. This is the radish leaf callus that they grew. It's a 3.5 months to 4 months of a semester in the externship. And Diane Fair, Dr. Diane Fair, she is the in charge, and she helps the students to learn the plant biotechnology during this time. And they grow, and they start from the stem cells and making the callus and growing the plant. And that's the interest. If the student is interested in plant biotechnology, they go and learn that particular thing. And these are some of the pictures of the labs that we are showing. Okay, students working here. Now, internships and externship. The completion of these 5 courses, like whatever I showed you, these courses, once they are ready for the internships and externships. Here, internship is a students, they go out and work on an external site. The external sites, important sites are, one of them is Mayo Clinic. Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville is a collaborator, and they always, and there is an understanding. And every semester, we send a couple of students, or 2 to 3 students for internship. And there are other places, like there is a biotech company that works on next gen sequencing and everything. They call it Gene to Genome, and they take some of our students. There is a company, that pathology industry, that is also an important collaborator. There are several collaborators around it, depending on the uh, students, and we consider the students' interests as well as the interest of the industry, so that we can match both of them and send them out. The students who want to work in on the campus itself, they are taken into the externship program. In the externship program, they can work on any of these projects with the help of the principal investigator, like Dr. Dan Fair or myself, or there is another faculty called Dr. Kiasmu. So the students can work with them and complete their externship. So these are during this process, they're been out, basically, what I want to say, their expertise in the field they are interested in, and they use the techniques that they already learned, but they practice the techniques in such a way that they are ready for to get into the workforce. Okay, now this looks very big. Okay, so now what exactly is the reason I made this slide? What is exactly the reason we want to do this particular project, NSF grant? The simple thing that I want to say that and say that loud is the limited community awareness. That's what we observed. Even though the biotechnology is growing by the day, the community around, community, when I'm talking about the community, is the teachers, students, parents, the awareness of biotechnology is very limited. First thing that needs to be really adjusted, that needs to be taken care of. And in teachers, if you take there are two counties, NASA and Dual County, high school teachers, they have a limited involvement or limited interest in this particular biotechnology because of various reasons. So once they are excited about it, they can bring the students in, and the two students get excited about it. And student engagement recently, I mean, every year we bring in students to show the biotechnology lab and all the places. Last couple of months back, I did around 250 students came, and almost more than 70-80% of them, they did not know exactly the biotechnology field is growing, or what exactly is biotechnology. That's the kind of a student engagement, very low student engagement. These are all the reasons that we need to work in this region to make them understand and get excited about it. And we all know that industry is developing very fast, and well developed infrastructure. We have well developed infrastructure. We can do now. I can say with my background is I'm a molecular biologist. As a scientist, I worked. I can say without any hesitation, FSCJ has the best equipment to train a startups technician and release them into the field. So we have a very well developed infrastructure, and we have an opportunity to look at this particular gap that you see, and that what I'm trying to explain you. The gap, it is an opportunity for us because we want to bridge the gap. So that's what I see that. And we have built partners, built in the sense the advisory board partners, they're all excited about it. And when I presented this to the build members, they were all excited. They are all ready to collaborate and take students and train them. So there are opportunities are there. There is enthusiasm is there from our end, and infrastructure is there. So the only thing that I want to do is we have to do is approach the high schools, approach the parents and students to educate them that there is a very well growing field which can be really, we can make ourselves ready to take the challenge. So that is the reason we decided that we will approach NSF and get uh, and we gave a proposal to them, and we successfully got the grant, and I've been working with this particular grant. What is the title? Advancing Next Generation Biotechnician Preparedness in Northeast Florida. So we said that the whole region needs, because Northeast Florida is the region where FSCJ is very serving the community. So the same region we want to do that, and this is the title number, and it started in the July 2024, and it ends by 2027 June. And I am the PI, Kasyapa Chitta, and I have two colleagues, Diane Fair and Pius Kayasmu. Both of them, they are well-trained PhDs, and Diane Fair is in, I mean, like she says, I have multiple hats. She does everything, molecular biology, genetics, microbiology, plant biotechnology. And Dr. Kiasmo is a microbiologist by training, and he does all the DNA, RNA work, and microbiology testing and everything he does. So it's a very good team of three faculty members, and we work in such a way that students learn everything in biotechnology, starting from microbial to plant to animal biotechnology. So institution is FSCJ, and this is the idea. What exactly is the philosophy of this particular thing? Increase awareness, engage and train students, empower educators, and align with industry needs. This is the idea of the grant. This is the core philosophy or core idea of the grant. Increase the awareness and engage and train the students, empower educators, and align with the industry needs. And what are the specific aims here? The project specific aims are, first thing is modernize the AS biotechnology curriculum. I showed you the curriculum that the table that I showed you, that is the curriculum that we are running. So what we suggested is, since the field is growing by the day, we would like to bring in some of the modern biotechnology techniques like next-gen sequencing, DNA sequencing, and flow cytometry, and some of these things that are regularly used in the current day biotechnology field or molecular biology field that needs to be taught to the students. Somehow we have to accommodate this next-gen uh, technology into the curriculum so that they will be aware. Once they get out of this particular program, they are aware of there is a thing called next-gen sequencing, uh, something like that. So we wanted to modernize the curriculum or enhance the curriculum and strengthen the industry collaboration. So we have already a collaborator, like built members, that means advisory board members. We want to expand this one, including the high school teachers, bring in the high school teachers or the people who are working in different areas and different fields. So bring in those people. So that is the way we think that's the bridge to for us to reach the community. So we want to bring in more build members into the program and increase teacher capacity and student engagement through outreach. Like what exactly I mean by that is we will contact the schools and talk to the teachers, bring them and professional development, give them a training, and then separately bring the students and give them hands-on expertise, hands-on training on different techniques so that they understand the field and they get excited about it, and we can bring them and train further. That's the outreach program that we have. Broaden the access and diversity by enrolling underrepresented students and from the different regions, and so that it will be a well-balanced program. So these are the specific aims that we plan, and this is the picture of the specific aim. Goal 1, modernizing the curriculum. Goal 2 is the enhancing and training tools and faculty expertise. We purchased this new new equipment for that. And then goal 3 is expanding the pathways, expanding the pathways and awareness in the community. These are the three goals we initially proposed, and we are working on them. And this is the lean canvas. Exactly where exactly we are going, what is the benefit, what is the disadvantages, and Who are the competitors? This particular table explains us. Problem, we already know that it's a low awareness program. Biotechnology, career opportunities, community doesn't know that. And it's limited student engagement, lack of biotechnology integrations into the K-12 schools. Most of the schools, there are a couple of schools, they have a biotechnology kind of a course or a program, but most of the schools they do not have any biotechnology course or program or awareness in that. Insufficient faculty training. These are all the problems that we have. What is the unique value proposition? FSAJ is bridging the gap between education and workforce needs. So that is the unique value of proposition. We have the opportunity to do that because of the infrastructure we have, enthusiasm we have, and there is a place where we can go and seek, like ask the community to understand, come and understand, join hands with us, and to understand the developments that are happening in the biotechnology program. And the solution is there are possibilities of new technologies that are coming into the field. Mostly, you are all working with that. AI is taking over everything that we have in this fields, medical field, biotechnology field. I should not say the taking over. I want to say the collaborating. The collaborator is occupying major space into these fields, which is for good. There is no doubt about it. So these ones should be connected and brought together so that students understand. So now, for example, a student who is out of high school coming into the field, he is not like me in 1990s, like where I started doing small protein estimations and everything that I was doing. He is starting with a kind of a understanding on there is biotechnology, there is a computer AI. How do I integrate? So what exactly is this thing is, when I pass the torch, I'm passing the torch to a student who has the availability of extraordinarily advanced technologies. So that is what is the thing that I am foreseeing, or I am thinking about. And the channels, we have community outreach, different places, and we have high school partnership, industry partnership, and the presentations, educations. That's what we are planning through this particular program. Go to high schools or bring the teachers and students to the FSCJ and present the scope of this particular biotechnology field. And customer segments, as we all know, the community colleges, different community colleges, high schools, and the employers that we have around. Revenue streams. This revenue streams funding is NSF 8 grant funding. That is the most important thing. And this is more than a funding. This is a very good opportunity that we foresee that it really transforms the community in the field of biotechnology. That's what we foresee. And cost structure, equipment acquisition and maintenance. We already brought the equipment, minor equipment, but it is a very valuable. qPCR, we purchased a qPCR and a gas chromatograph, which can do wonders for a student who is in the beginning of his biotechnology career. So that's one thing which we purchased, and curriculum we changed, and we are running the workshops and training events on a regular basis so that it will help the students to mm, understand the program and the field. Unfair advantage. The advantage that this one has is the location. First thing is location. And second thing is its experience, 60 years of experience and serving the Northeast Florida community. And biotech program, the way that is developed in the biotech program here is kind of excellent. It is the equipment that you have, and the faculty that with the expertise, everything is it's a win-win situation for everybody. So this particular slide explains you what exactly is the reason I'm starting, what are the solutions I have, what are the competitors, and how I'm going to do that. So then the ecosystem map for this particular thing. Who are the contributors? Who are the collaborators here? Definitely, as I told you, K to 12 schools are the contributors. FSCJ is communicating with the educators as well as K to 12 school students. And then once we have communication, then we have the workforce agencies. They are going to communicate with FSCJ. Educators, they communicate with FSCJ because they want to have more, like educators, they want to have more understanding on the program as well as their contributions. And bioscience employers and educators, both of them, they are dependent on the workforce that is generated by the FSCJ. So they're also a collaborators or contributors. And prospective students. Prospective students, once you engage them, make them understand the value of the biotechnology training, so you have the importance of growing these things together. So you have the school students, school teachers, employers, and employers from industry as well as academic institutions. They are all contributors or collaborators in this particular mm, project or endeavor. Okay, these are the activities and timeline that we planned. The first year, we plan to review the curriculum, equipment upgrade, and faculty training. The second one is industry advisory board. I mean, this is a industry advisory board that's a continuous. We already started that and it's going into the year and we want to continue doing this. And professional development for teachers that we initiated right now and it will be starting in the fall and it will continue for the next 2 years on that, even for the students. And internships are scaling up and outreach events. All these things are going to continue until the third year. By the end of third year, your data is reported and data is made and reported. So this is the plan for 3 years. We are hoping to bring in the teachers and students into the program and train them. What is the progress that we did? First one is curriculum updates. We already finished that one and they submitted it to the curriculum committee and they accepted it starting from fall that we are going to implement the curriculum changes that we made. Equipment procurement done. We already finished purchasing these two and we trained the faculty. The training the faculty is kind of the 5 or 6 faculty around biomedical sciences we have done. The plan is to train as many faculty as possible around and bring in the teachers and train them on that. And outreach to high schools. This is the one that we initiated in the last April. We started. We have a couple of uh, workshops that we ran, and starting fall, we are going to communicate with the schools and bring in teachers. By next year, we want to do at least 12 faculty and teachers from high schools, and the third year we want to bring another 12. The idea is to once they come here, we give the professional development. We want to really provide them the small equipment or tools so that they can go back and perform their experiments in their classrooms and bring in students so that students can learn here. That's the idea that we are working on. Something we are working towards preparing a lib guide where all this particular technology and techniques and protocols, everything is available at one place so that students will be able to mm, use them and learn everything. That's will be done by the end of third year. So this is the major plan. What are the exactly long-term impact? Curriculum aligned with employer needs. So the employers that we have identified, in fact, a couple of advisory board meetings back, one of the professors at Mayo, he came back and he advised, why not we teach the students in the biotechnology, the R programming and some of the basic software like a Python and R programming. So that's a very important thing because he was looking for students, I mean like lab personnel to learn that and perform that. So that's what we discussed, and we are planning to do, incorporate into the program, so that the students will be able to at least understand R and go there and perform that. That's what I'm talking about when I said curriculum aligned with employers' needs. Next one is faculty better equipped for teaching emerging biotechnology. That's what we are advanced concepts that we included into the curriculum. They will help us. And student success, greater student success and credential attainment. Base program, base credentialing, that's what we are going to, all these years we are suggesting, encouraging the students to take it. So we want to put more effort into that, so that base credentialing is the most important thing for the students. Once they graduate from here, they have an extra credential that helps them to get into the workforce, and a stronger regional workforce pipeline. This is the one thing, the outreach program that we are going to do, that helps bring more employers into the program, so that vice versa, the communication between the employers and the students as with FSCJ as a bridge. So this is the dream. This is the one that we want to do. What exactly? High school students, bring them. They pass through the bridge called biotechnology at FSCJ and get into the industry or the university. So that way, what happens is the FSCJ that is training, it it is aware of what exactly is happening in this world, biotechnology world. So equip the students from high school and prepare them for this, uh, for tomorrow in the industry or university. Let them cross the bridge. That's the idea, that the the initiative that we started, Northeast Florida initiative, with the help of National Science Foundation. This is the plan that ultimately we want to achieve, and we want to be successful in this. Call for collaboration. It's not one institution or one program's work. It's always a community. Community, I'm not talking about Northeast Florida. I'm talking about Innovate Bio. For example, I consider it as a family. I attended the, that's what I was saying, Linnea, a few minutes back. I see a small family there when they are all discussing around 12:30 on the final day. They were all like very, I enjoyed really being a part of that one. That's the collaboration we want to have, because it's not the FSCJ or the Northeast Florida. It is the American biotechnology that has to achieve, that has to progress. So we need, all of us need the partners, collaborators. When I'm doing something wrong, I need your advice. When I'm not aware of something, I need your. When we work together, it will be a very useful thing that helps the community, biotechnology community. Peer institutions exchange best practices and faculty expertise, articulation pathways for student mobility, and industry partners host internships and mentorships, and participate in the business and industry leadership team, and the community organizations, K-12 educators, co-host outreach events. That's what is the thing that we are going to do this year, and partner in teacher and professional development and student enrichment efforts. Once we share and the resources and ideas, it will be an awesome future. That's the end of my talk. I hope everything I covered, and I want to thank Professor Dan Fair, Professor Pius Kiasmu, sorry, and both of them, they are my colleagues. All three of us work together in the biotechnology program. And Professor Monica Franklin is the dean, and she is the initiator of this particular whole idea. I used to have this idea, but once I mentioned, talk to her, and she said, there is a program, we can do that. And she really took my hand and uh, connected me with the correct people. And ultimately, we are into this particular success. I thank all of them. And Mary Banks is our manager, lab manager. She's everything. I should say she's everything. She helps us in every effort that we are doing around the lab, and her suggestions are valuable. So I want to thank all of them and also the FSCJ community that supports this particular program. And special thanks to NSF for supporting this work. That ends my talk. Thank you very much, all of you, for your attention. And please don't hesitate to give me a feedback. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. You touched on various topics that I'm sure there are a lot of questions. If you don't mind, stop sharing your screen, and I see some hands up. And then there are also some questions in the chat. Sandy, I believe I saw your hand up, or was that a hand clapping?
A hand clapping.
Oh, okay. It was very tiny. Okay. So if I could start off with Linnea, you had asked at the beginning of the presentation when there was a slide on the showing the AS and BAS areas. She asked if you have identified all the jobs that match your AS and BAS exit points.
Yes. The thing is, the program, that's where the program is kind of, it's not exactly optimally working. We are taking it. But as of now, the graduates that are coming out of this program, they are going into, I don't have exact number, but they are going into the field depending on the uh, training that they are getting. Like, for example, a couple of students who were trained last year, they got into this particular pathology lab because they were trained in the pathology lab and microscopy and everything. And we trained them here and they got into this particular pathology lab. One of the students who was working on this particular next-gen, she was interested in next-gen sequencing. So we taught her basics of next-gen sequencing and we sent her to a biotechnology industry where they do the next-gen sequencing, and she did her internship. Now she is working for them. So what I say is, to Linea's question, we haven't complete 100% identified, but we are working towards it. And the more than anything else, we are trying to bring in more collaborators, industry partners, so that we can really tailor our teachings to their needs. Apart from whatever we are teaching basics, but whatever they need, we would like to work with them. So that's what we are doing.
And I know that Linnea mentioned she had several other comments in the chat, but she's driving right now, so she may not be able to jump on right now to ask those questions. But I'll go ahead and Diane, you actually shared a flyer, a summer camp flyer that the dean has tasked you with, both of y'all with for this summer. Did you want to talk about that?
Sure. Thank you. We are actually tasked by our college president. It's going to be a week-long event in June and a week-long event in July. Our college president, Dr. Avendano, he wants the North Campus, which is primarily our healthcare campus, to have some health career explorations. And Dr. Chitta and I are going to be tested on June the 12th with a 3-hour introduction for a cohort of rising 9th through 12th graders, basically introducing them to the wonderful world of biotechnology. And this is going to be our, I guess you could call it a prototype or they're going to be our guinea pigs. Basically, how can we outreach to high school students to encourage them to think outside of the medical school, pharmacy school, just to think outside of the ordinary. I'm looking at some comments here from Scott in Denver, and it's actually kind of amazing in our area too. There are several technology forward high schools in Jacksonville and Duval County, and biotechnology is kind of low on the totem pole. And there seems to be a focus on agriculture. There seems to be a focus on encouraging students to get into science and computer science, of course. Although I think forensics is going to be a big push as well, if our student interests are any indication. A lot of it is probably reaching out into the urban core high schools that we have and see if we can grow from there. I also mentioned getting more on social media because the generation of students, you know, they see the TikTokers and they see the YouTube content creators, and I think it's an untapped opportunity to encourage the students that it may take a number of years of disciplined study, but there's still an opportunity to have a really well thought out and rewarding life that doesn't come immediately. So it's kind of encouraging them to set long-term goals rather than the immediate gratification that we're pushing back upon.
Tamara, you made a comment about possible collaboration.
Yeah, I think that there'd be a lot of potential synergy there because we've worked for years with the statewide high schools because we launched the Industrial Biotechnology Program that was initially funded by a NSF PFI grant. And it was actually one of the state's first hybrid academic CTE programs. So it really embeds, right, complex concepts in science with hands-on applications. And it's really geared towards, biotech industry. And through that, we've developed, and also through the base, we've got a lot of connections to the secondary programs here in Florida. And I think we could certainly help expand awareness or possibly, bring on more collaborators. We also have quite a bit in the realm of educator professional development and even high school, right, lab activities, field trip things that we could, help with as well. So I'd love to just talk more, and any of you out there, right? This isn't just Florida people, anybody that, we can help or synergize with. We're certainly happy to do that.
That's a wonderful thing that to know. It's really important that we collaborate because outreach it's not a simple thing. But my understanding is, like Diane just now mentioned, these are all guinea pigs. She said we are bringing them. We are trying to train them. Ultimately, the point is how much they are excited about this program. So I don't expect 100% or 50% people getting excited and coming back to us and starting biotechnology program, but more the merrier. Definitely, I would like to communicate with you and take your help in this particular collaboration.
Yeah, no, really happy to do it.
I was gonna mention kind of to Scott and Diane's point. I work on high school pathways for Innovate Bio, and I think sort of the context of the colleges and your high schools that you're working at is important when you're looking at opportunities for students to do either dual enrollment or concurrent enrollment. One of the big challenges we found across ATE partners is that a lot of the community colleges are, certainly focused on transferring their students to four-year schools. And if your, technically skilled focused classes are not part of an articulation to a four-year transfer, that can be a challenge because the counselors at the community college and even the counselors at the high school are encouraging students to take courses that will transfer to a four-year degree. So that's something, if you're working with a specific college, you can look at very, very, to see who they have agreements with. Also, high school students get confused, I've found, around, oh, if I do biotech at my community college, does that mean I have to major in biotechnology? Right? In their high schools, they're being told, oh, if you want to major in science, you're looking at biological science or, chemistry. And so they don't quite know where to fit this in a possible future plan. And so I think one of the tacks that we've tried is to have them try and get involved in some work-based experience. So it's harder to do in the high school because of their age. But if you can do something early on in your campus, it sounds like what Kasyapa explained was, externships and things on those college campuses are a great way to get students involved. But this is not an answer to your question, but is one of the challenges is there's some confusion around for high school students how doing biotech, continuing to do it at our community college campuses could be part of their 4-year plan. Because again, they're still trying to figure out what they're going to do. As us as fully actualized adults, we could say, oh, you can get trained here. You don't necessarily need a 4-year degree, and you can get a job starting a career in the industry. It makes a lot of sense on our end for a lot of high school students and families that are, unsure about science in general. It's not that straightforward. And so trying to explain to them what their options are, how they bridge with those community colleges is really kind of on a college by college basis and state by state, and so on and so forth. Here, I'm in the Bay Area. The University of California, I think, makes it more challenging. They don't recognize our really useful technical classes where students learn how to actually do this stuff. It's been challenging for us to get the University of California, to recognize these classes, and that really makes it challenging for students who are looking at possible transfer options, because if it's not in the transfer option to UC, either the counselors or the students themselves will not opt to do it.
I really learned something from you, because I think that, okay, this is such a favorite and growing field. Why not? I can convince them. But the thing is, what you are saying is, it is what exactly they are thinking is more important than what I am thinking, because they are thinking that how do I go from here? A community college, biotechnology, I did. What exactly is my future? So the moment they get this kind of a doubt, when it is not available, they don't think further. So when I'm approaching them, I should be able to answer these questions. This is how what you said is right. Like when they're in high school, they get exposed to some of the industry work places where they can work and understand the biotechnology, but other things also. This is where the collaboration and understanding, talking to people like you is very important. This is a challenge. It's not easy. There are 250 students came to my lab, batches of 20 students each, and I was collecting the information from them, like how interested they are. I have 5 or 6 students who said that they are aware of biotechnology, they are interested in biotechnology. That tells me that I have to work a lot and I need help. In the sense, biotechnology, this thing, we need really help to make them understand, approach them. Thank you very much, Mike. Yes.
So if I understood that correctly, then Michael and Dr. Chitta, then is that where it's because a high schooler doesn't really know what their path is moving forward, perhaps they're discouraged from doing something that sounds like it may dead end at 2 years. Going in, they want to make sure that as they're going to move forward, it could either stop at the 2 years or could continue to the 4 years because they just haven't figured it out yet, which does absolutely make sense. But now we're also saying that in fact, because the biotech classes are not necessarily recognized by the 4-year, even if you get an AS, a lot of it won't transfer to help you get to the 4-year level, at least in the California UC system. Is that a good summary of that conversation?
Yeah, I think also just in terms of the high school you're at and the area that you're at, like a lot of the high school counselors are really unaware of certainly getting an AS with a certification they might be aware of an AS, but they're often less aware of, you know, the opportunities in this technical training. And so it's not just something they talk about. So like very frequently. And so I think like, of course, depending on where you're at, I mean, this really depends on regionally and your schools and stuff. Like, you know, community college without considering an option to a 4-year is often not something that is put out there as you know, a pathway or something that you can do. In my experience, it's almost always paired with transferring. And so students, when I talk to students, when we've surveyed lots of students, very few students will say, I want to do an AS with a certification at the high school level. I think adults coming back and things like that is a little bit different. And so I think that remains a challenge.
Well, thank you, everyone. These are great conversations that I'm sure we can continue a little bit longer, but we are at the end of our project talk time. And so again, I would like to thank Dr. Chitta for presenting our final project talk today. And on behalf of the Innovate Bio grant, thank you so much for attending. Thank you for the very engaging presentation. And we wish everyone has a wonderful weekend and a great summer. And again, don't hesitate to reach out to the Innovate Bio team with any concerns or for any possible future collaborations. Reach out to us. And again, I dropped the link to the evaluation survey. We would appreciate your feedback, and that will help us in planning future events. Again, thank you to Dr. Chitta. We really enjoyed your presentation, and happy Friday, everyone.
Thank you very much, everybody.